Hunt and Lyle. Okay? What were Hunt and Lyle's jobs? Cold. Wait, it's cold in here? Did I grab the wrong sticks? There it is.
Yo, Spencer. Did you finish our project?
Okay, guys. Trust me, like I'm not going to squish you. Come on.
You should never trust anyone.
They were geologists, okay? Hunt and Lyle were geologists. How old did people think the Earth was before Hunt and Lyle, JP? They thought the Earth was 2,000 years old. People at the right table. We're going over stuff we talked about yesterday, so it might be helpful for you guys to pay attention.
Read the box.
Okay? JP says they thought the Earth was 2,000 years old. How old was it really, Alicia? Think about that number we tried to count to. Billions, okay? The Earth is 4.6 billion years old. I would say that's a little bit more than 2,000. Okay? The other class did the counting exercise too. They were able to count to 1 billion in 80 some years instead of 248. So Connor's a much better counter than Tanner is. But good for him. Well, we did the counting thing yesterday in here. Just thought you might be interested.
Nope.
What did we call that idea that the Earth is sold, we can't imagine it, Emma? Deep time. Okay, deep time means that something's so old we can't imagine it. Okay, it's older than we can comprehend with our tiny little human brains. Right?
My brain is big.
Deep time.
Yeah, okay.
You got a small head.
Who was the second person that shaped his ideas? Jonathan.
Lamarck.
Lamarck. Okay.
Wait,
What was
say?
Lamarck?
What about Lamarck? Okay.
Tyler, what was Lamarck's job?
Hold on 1 second. Lamarck was a biologist.
Lamarck was a biologist. What do biologists study, everyone? Life. Life. Okay? Geologists study the Earth. Biologists study life. What was Lamarck's idea, Jason? Huh? Jason, right?
Yeah.
What was Lamarck's idea? You have your notes from yesterday? Alright. Someone help him out. What was Lamarck's idea?
Think it, you'll beat it.
Think it, you'll be it. Okay? His idea was that a species could change if it tried hard enough. Right? If a bird stretched its legs long enough, it would get longer legs. If I stretch my neck long enough, I'll get a longer neck. And then I can pass them on to my children. Was he right?
No.
No. But he was on the right track, okay? He was the first one to suggest species could change. Okay? That's the first part of evolution, okay? Everything's not fixed. Nick, who was the third guy we talked about? Malthus. Okay? Malthus was the last guy we talked about. Can't tell.
I'm talking to myself.
Internalize that. Mitch, what was Malthus's job?
Mitch. Mitch. What? You awake? He asked you a question.
He's looking it up.
Mitch.
What did Malthus do?
Mitch.
What was his job?
Mitch.
Mitch.
Mitch. Guys.
Sorry, Mitch.
Malthus was an economist, okay? What do economists study? Economy, okay? What was his idea about populations, Chantel? Doesn't know this. Jack.
She said birth rate.
What was the idea about what?
Jack's over here. Populations.
That the birth rates were greater than that.
Okay, so populations were doing what?
Increasing.
Increasing, okay? Populations kept going up. What were some things that stopped populations, Travella? What were some things that stopped populations?
Oh, death rate.
War.
What were things that increased that?
Natural disasters.
Natural disasters, wars, famines, diseases, dragons, whatever, okay? These are things that stop population growth. Okay? So, Spencer, why was Hunt and Lyle, why was their idea, or why were their ideas important for Darwin? The geologist. Why was that important that the Earth was that old?
Because they get animals or species.
Right. If the Earth was 4.6 billion years old, that means we have a lot of time for things to change, okay? There's a lot of births and deaths going on in 4.6 billion years, okay? You can't even comprehend how long that is. Taylor, Why were the ideas of Lamarck important? What was Lamarck's idea? Right, species could change. Why was that important for Darwin? What was Darwin's idea? Evolution. Right, so how come species changing is an important idea for evolution? Without species changing, can you even have evolution? No, right? So evolutions change over time. Tyler? Chantel? Last time?
Sorry.
Thanks. Okay? If species can't change, we can't have evolution. Right? That's why Lamarck's important. And Cole, why are the ideas of Malthus important?
Shows like human.
So he studied the effects of these things on human populations. Okay, what did Darwin figure out though? It's not just humans, it's what?
Animals.
Not just animals. Any organism, okay? These things that stop population growth, that change the rate that the population is going up, these can apply to any organism. Okay? Cool. That was yesterday's stuff. So now we're going to talk about Darwin's case. There we go. These are the same as the other day. If I write on the board, it's a free game for a test. So put it in your notes. Okay? I'm not going over really fast, and I'm sure you can all write faster with a pencil. Okay? So Darwin presented his case 20 years after he got back from his trip on the beagle. Okay? Why do you think he waited 20 years to tell everyone what he thought about evolution?
Because he had a lot of studying to do.
He did have a lot of studying to do, but why else?
People weren't ready.
People weren't ready. Okay? This wasn't a time when people were exactly open to new ideas. Okay? Some people that said, I don't think that I was put on here by something else, whatever his name might have been, starting with a G, they would just take him outside and kill him. Okay? They didn't want to hear anything like that. Right? So Darwin was kind of afraid to publish this type of stuff. Okay? 20 years of studying and experimenting and poring over these notes that he had, he read a paper from somebody else named Wallace who has a similar idea. Darwin said, okay, it's time, I'm going to publish his ideas. His publications were called On the Origin of Species. On the Origin of Species, okay? Where did species come from? Where did they originate? Okay, these were his papers. Darwin proposed something called natural selection. Okay? He also said that you have to have some conditions for natural selection to occur. Okay? So these were his conditions for natural selection. The things that you got to have for natural selection to happen. Okay? His first thing that he decided was that you need to start with too many things. Okay? Whether we're talking about plants, okay, maybe an area has too many trees. Maybe there's too many birds in an area, too many dolphins or something, okay? The first thing you need is an excess of stuff. Why is this going to start determining who survives and reproduces?
Survival of the fittest.
Not survival of the fittest. It's something called struggle for existence. Why would someone need to struggle for existence if there's too many people? Exactly. Okay? If there's not enough resources, if we have enough food to feed 50 people on our boat and there's 100 people, do you think 100 people are going to be there by the end? No. Okay? It's a struggle for existence. They're competing for food. They're competing for space. If they're plants, they're competing for sunlight. Okay? If you have a big tree that has a big canopy, are the plants underneath it going to get a lot of sunlight? No, they're competing. Okay? There's competition in nature. The second thing we needed was variation. And adaptation. Okay? What's variation? You guys know what various means, right? Is this room varied? with us? Okay, variation means there's lots of differences amongst the population. Okay, if we just look at this room, no two of us are alike. Okay, we all have different variations. In nature, it's not quite as obvious because a lot of plants all look the same, but those plants all have small variations. Okay, if everything looked exactly the same, would we ever evolve new species? If everyone was blonde hair, blue-eyed, would they ever have a non-blonde hair, blue-eyed kid if it's been going like that for hundreds of years? No. Okay, you need variation. The other thing you need is adaptation. And this is a word you need to know the definition for. This one's a little bit longer. A red pebble. Organism's ability to survive and reproduce. Just guessing, what do you think the two most important words are in this definition?
Survive and reproduce.
Survive and reproduce. Okay? And adaptation is something that we inherit. It's heritable, right? Heredity, something that we get from our parents that increases our ability to survive and reproduce. Okay? Everything in natural selection is about how well you survive and reproduce. Okay? What's an adaptation that can increase your ability to survive and reproduce? If you were a cougar that had to chase down a deer, what's something that could be adapted to you or something that could be different than cougar B that's going to let you survive and reproduce better?
Faster running legs.
You're faster. Okay, what things might make you faster?
Legs.
Maybe you have bigger muscles in your legs. Maybe your legs are longer. What happens when you catch up to it? If you have short claws, do you think you're going to be able to get a good grip on the deer before it gets away? Right, maybe your claws are a little bit bigger. Maybe your teeth turned out sharper. Okay, these are variations. They're adaptations that increase the ability to survive and reproduce. Why is surviving and reproducing so important?
So you can keep the species going.
Right, if something doesn't survive, can it reproduce?
No.
If something can't reproduce, is it going to make more of whatever it is? Is it going to be able to pass on its gene pool? No, it's going to stop right there, okay? Because it didn't make more of it. We're running out of time. It's 57? The next thing you know is fitness. I won't take you up to the bottom. Okay? Fitness is how well an organism can survive and reproduce. Okay? So which two words came back?
Survive and reproduce.
We're surviving, we're reproducing. Okay? Fitness is a measurement of adaptation. Okay? We can put a level on fitness. Okay? When we think of fitness, what do we think of? Right, how good of shape you're in, right? Maybe someone's more fit, they can run further. Well, in the animal kingdom, if puma can chase something further, they will probably be more likely to catch it, okay? That something's not going to outrun it. Fitness. So something with high fitness, tell me when it's 3 o'clock. What's something with high fitness? How would you describe something with high fitness? Is it going to die? Right. More chance of living and reproducing. So they're going to live long. They're going to have lots of babies.